Welcome to our podcast, Learn Biblical Greek, brought to you by Dr. William Stewart, the co-founder of Teleios. This captivating podcast teaches you biblical Greek through a verse-by-verse study of the book of Ephesians, interjecting Greek grammar, Greek word meanings, and vital theology concepts. Thanks for joining us on this exciting biblical journey. Your study will be more effective if you use the Greek text with the Bible word codes, either on the eSword download or Bible Hub website. These links are on our podcast website at www.teliosresearch.com.
Hi, I'm William Stewart. Welcome back to our podcast on learning biblical Greek. This is your podcast to learn Greek, to understand the original language of the New Testament and the words, the grammar, also the theology, and where the Greek helps. We're in an amazing section of chapter 2 in Ephesians right now, telling us about salvation, its nature, and access. In verse 7, we'll finish this today. We finished up with the word riches, and we'll start with tes today in the middle of the verse, T-E-S. So again, this is a small word, makes you think of an article. Again, starting with the T, that helps you know this. The A to S will tell you it's the genitive singular feminine, and it's followed by a noun. That helps too, though that doesn't always happen in Greek. Sometimes the noun is separated from its article. Sometimes even the article's after the noun. Remember, Greek is quite flexible in word order. The noun is charis, and we see it's charitos in the text. So remember, this doesn't match, the ending doesn't match with tes. Tells you it's the third declension. Indeed, the root word for charis is charit, and the os on the end is the genitive in the third declension ending. So, of his grace. His is auto, which the ou tells us the genitive masculine singular. So I think of oo and of, very close in terms of cognate, sort of, to help you remember. In, that's the most common preposition we see over and over again, means in. Usually it's translated into English, but remember in the Greek, the preposition en is more flexible, so it could mean inside, by means of, on, at, over, beside, etc. Now, interesting word here, Christotiti, really means kindness, goodness, and its root word is Christotit. Okay, a very unusual. Again, ends in a T, and the I then tells you it is the dative for the third declension endings attached to the N, dative singular. So it's Christotiti. If is epi, which is on, typically, and it takes the it can take the dative, genitive, or accusative. Strangely, it doesn't really change the meaning all that much. So it means on, umas, as you would recognize. For us, taking the accusative singular third declension ending as the pronouns do. So on us, in, again, you see that again, Christo Iesu. So the Christo, of course, is Christ, Messiah, the anointed one, and Messiah, of course, is the Hebrew, and Christos is the direct translation of anointed one into the Greek, the anointed one who was called by God, directed by God to come and save our souls by his death and resurrection on the cross, by which we access, of course, by faith alone. Yesu is also the dative. It's irregular. A couple of words are like this. Plutos also takes an OU dative. So it is consistent with the Christo, just doesn't look that way. So what we have here then is that riches of his grace in kindness on us in Christ Jesus. So in the future times, when salvation is completed, our redemption is completed, that he has shown, it'll be evident, all the riches of his grace. Generally riches, although a general word in the epistles, those books of the New Testament from Romans to Revelation chapter 3, directed to the church, refers to things of salvation in context to its use in the New Testament. Okay, wonderful promise, and that God has such a great salvation for us. We'll come into some very important verses. We'll start this next time in verse 8. Glad you are here today, and please join me for the next video.